My grandmother mailed me a package 2 weeks before she died, and when I asked my aunt about it she said it had never arrived. My grandmother's name was Rosemary. He passed in October. The package had been sent in late September, according to the postmark date on the USPS confirmation I found when I went looking, but I'm getting ahead of myself. She had called me in early September to tell me she was sending me something and to watch for it. He said it was important to her that I have it. She sounded like herself on that call, which I am glad for, alert and warm, with the particular humor she kept until almost the very end. He did not say what was in the package. He said I would understand when I opened it. He passed before it arrived or before I knew it had. At the funeral, I asked my Aunt Susan if she had seen any packages come to the house addressed to me. Susan handled all of Grandma Rosemary's mail and household affairs in those final weeks. He said no package had arrived and there must have been a postal error. He said it with the flat efficiency of someone repeating a prepared answer. I went home and pulled the USPS tracking number from an email Grandma Rosemary had sent me. She had started including tracking numbers after a birthday gift went missing 2 years earlier. He was thorough like that. The tracking showed delivery confirmation to Susan's address, which is where Grandma Rosemary had been living her final months. Delivered October 3rd. Signed for my grandmother's husband, Uncle Warren, Susan's husband, not a blood relation, mentioned the package casually at the post-funeral reception. He said something about the box that had come from the postal service right around when things got very busy. He was making small talk and didn't understand what he was confirming. He had no reason to lie. He hadn't been asked to lie. He was just a man who had seen a box arrive at his house and mentioned it the way people mention ordinary things. I had the tracking record and Warren's offhand comment when I called Susan. The conversation was not long. I told her I had the delivery confirmation, I had the signature, and I had heard from Warren that he remembered a package arriving. I told her I was not interested in any further explanation and that I would like whatever my grandmother had sent to be returned to me. He said she would look for it. 2 days later she dropped a box at my mom's house without calling first, without a note, without a word of explanation. He left it on the porch. Inside was a handwritten letter from my grandmother, several pages, her looped, careful handwriting, dated 2 weeks before she died. She wrote about things from when I was small that I had forgotten or half remembered. She wrote about what she hoped for me. She wrote about the item she had wrapped in tissue paper beneath the letter, which was a small gold locket that had been her own grandmother's, passed down through 4 generations of women in our family, each one carrying it until it was time to give it to the next. He had decided it was time to give it to me. I sat on my mom's porch and read the letter twice before I could stand up. The locket was cool in my hand, old and smooth, just a little heavier than you'd expect something so small to be. Susan and I have not spoken about it since. What she thought she was doing with that package, whether she intended to keep it or just hadn't gotten around to delivering it, is something I have decided not to spend my life wondering about. What I have instead is the letter and the locket and the knowledge that my grandmother made sure I would receive them. He was thorough like that. He knew me well enough to include the tracking number.